Today, I'm back with mega movie numbers for you all. This is where we blockbuster into the top 20 selling 4K Ultra HD discs of a previous week. Give you my thoughts and recommendation on every single title there so you can help make more informed buying decisions for your collecting needs in the future, of course. Then, of course, get into the market share breakdown. We look at all the different disc formats you absolutely love, like Blu-rays, 4Ks, DVDs, see how well they're selling in comparison to one another. Then, of course, we talk about the state of physical media. Where's physical media going in the future? What are some of the trends? And most importantly, we just have a great time watching and talking the movies. So if it sounds like you're in the right spot, my friend, you love collecting physical media, you love watching movies, you want to support saving physical media in this current year, go ahead and make a blockbuster that like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. That way you're alerted when a new physical media number breakdown video posts. And of course, leave in the comments below, what were you picking up last week? So let's get into the list of banger bangers on 4K here. We're going to have at the bottom, No Country for Old Men on Criterion. Now, I did just pick mine up because I saw an amazing deal for a few hours where it was like only $18. So I totally swooped in on that. So I can't wait to check that one out when it arrives in the mail. Next up, we got a new one here with Drugstore Cowboy from Criterion. Know nothing about that movie. So if that movie is any good, please give me a recommendation in the comments below. Next up, we're going to have They Live from Shout Studios. Guessing that was from the Love is in the Scare sale. And They Live is just one of the best Carpenter titles of all time. So happy to see that selling. Next up, we're going to have a new one with Humanoids from the Deep from Shout Studios. I don't know anything about this one. It looks like a creature feature. The cover kind of looked cool. So you guys let me know it's really good. And another Shout Factory sale, I might consider it. Next up, we got Kill Bill Volume 2 from Lionsgate. Yes, the Kill Bill movies are probably going to be on this list for quite some time, but interesting enough, the Kill Bill Volume 1 is not right next to it. So we will get to that one when we get to it. But next up, we're going to have Evil Dead Rise from Warner. Yes, this movie keeps getting released on 4K. It seems like every other month. And yeah, I guess if you need a 12th edition of Evil Dead Rise, there you go. Next up, we're going to have Alien Romulus from 20th Century. And Alien Romulus is a fantastic movie. If you love the Alien franchise, you're going to enjoy it. And the 4K looks and sounds amazing. Next up, we're going to have Deadpool and Wolverine from Disney and Marvel. Very fun, fan service kind of movie. If you love superhero movies, you're going to get a kick out of that one. Next up, finally, we have Kill Bill Volume 1 from Lionsgate. So I still haven't picked these ones up. I think they will get discounted sooner rather than later. And maybe they'll even get into a box set. They'll do an edition like that with Volume 1 and Volume 2. That's what we're hoping on. Next up, we got Transformers 1 from Paramount. Still happy to see this one. Been on this list for some time now. I guess people are just really discovering that movie and loving it. And it was actually pretty good for an animated feature. Next up, we're going to have The Substance from Mubi. The Substance definitely is trippy as all heck. It looks great on the 4K. Love the practical effect work there, and hopefully get some Oscar love. We will know soon enough. Once again, this is a recording, so hey, maybe it did get some love already. Next up, we got Smile 2 from Paramount. Great sequel. Interesting horror premise right there. Naomi Scott, wonderful. Next up, we got Venom: The Last Dance from Sony Pictures. Yeah, happy to see this one selling pretty well. People do like the Venom movies overall. It seems like that was kind of the shining star out of the Sony Spider-Verse verse were the Venom movies. So too bad we didn't get Venom fighting Spider-Man. But who knows, maybe in the future. Next up, we'll have a new one here with Uncle Buck from Kino Lorber. I want to pick this one up eventually because I heard the 4K looks and sounds amazing. This is a great, movie with John Candy and written, directed by John Hughes, I believe. And I just love those kinds of movies from the 80s. They're just very funny and entertaining. And yeah, Uncle Buck's great. So maybe I'll pick up that in a sale. Next up, we're going to have a new one here with The Social Network from Sony. They did like a steelbook release of this one, but I really like this movie. If you don't have it, got to check out this movie. It makes like business more interesting in a way. It's very dramatic, very intense, and you get to see like this whole story of backstabbing revealed, and it's pretty shocking when you watch it, just to learn about how Facebook got going. Next, we got a new one here of Panic Room from Sony Pictures. I was not going to pay day one high steelbook price for that. So I'm hoping for a standard 4K release in the future soon, or maybe that steelbook price will drop eventually. I'm waiting on it to be 25 or less. That's a sweet spot for me. Next up, we're going to have Wicked from Universal. Once again, another Oscar kind of contending movie. Hopefully it, maybe won an award or two, but we will have to see. Once again, this is a recording, so yeah, maybe it did go really good. Next up, we're gonna have some new ones here with The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim from Warner. I saw this one in theaters and I could not get into it at all. It was something just about the story and animation. I was not connecting to the characters and it just kind of bored me. Next up, we got a new one here of Constantine from Warner. I got my steelbook in from Groove, very cheap price. So yeah, I was really happy with that one. Beautiful steelbook. Was not expecting that design at all with how it was embossed, and the 4K look sounded amazing. And you even got like a new interview on there with Keanu Reeves. So phenomenal 4K release. And then number one, new one here, of course, Nosferatu 2024 from Universal. This was a movie that did way better than I expected in theaters, and it seems like a lot of people loved it. I think it looks great and sounds great, and it's definitely a good one-time watch. I don't know if I'd rewatch it a whole bunch of times, but it's kind of the movie I would like show in a filmmaking history class for like, got to show this as like really good filmmaking for horror and atmosphere and acting performances and all the technical elements along with that too. So yeah, Nosferatu definitely can see why that sold well there. But now we are going to get into, let's see, the market share breakdown. So I'm going to bring up these home entertainment charts for us. I will bring up week ending February 22nd, 2025, and then I'll bring one up from a couple weeks before that. Week ended February 8th, 2025, and once again previously recorded, so I don't know if a new one has already just popped up, but this is what I have to work with right now. So let's take a look at some of the trends here. Let's see, we got 4Ks that seem pretty steady throughout the month. They're above 25%, and so to me that means the floor for 4Ks has risen and is going to stay around hovering 25%. Yes, I'll have those months where there's really good sales and deals and it might spike to 30 or 40% even maybe. But I think 4Ks, because it's such a niche collecting market, a lot of people want the premium, top of the line products here now. You're going to see that around 25% for quite some time, I think, throughout the year. Absolutely. Blu-rays. Blu-rays, once again, they're around the 25% marker as well. So that's a good sign. I mean, you combine the HD formats right there. And so when I say HD formats, I mean, okay, you combine Blu-ray high definition with ultra high definition, both of those percentages together. I mean, you're like at that 50% marker right there, which is above DVDs just slightly if you combine those percentages there. So to me, that's a good sign for HD in general, whether standard HD or ultra HD. That's just a good sign that people that are buying the physical media products now are looking for that higher image quality or sound quality, and they're not as much getting those new releases to just DVD anymore. Now, of course, there are obviously, once again, just right under 50%. We still have DVDs selling quite a bit, but I can't say confidently now DVD is king. Yeah, if you compare each of the three formats separately, okay, sure, crown it if you want. DVD can be king at that point. But once again, if you just combine the HD formats, Blu-ray and Ultra HD 4K right there, that is just a little bit above DVD. And I still think that's interesting because we haven't always seen that. This is kind of something that's really been happening this year in the past couple months. We're seeing things change as it becomes a more niche collecting market. And so I think that's fascinating. So let's talk about the state of physical media, what's happening with physical media out there, of course. Well, it is wild times, people. Prices are very volatile. I've talked about this before. Seems like some prices are skyrocketing, but then there'll be like random Blu-rays that come out new, and just a couple weeks later, they get super discounted. So it's very volatile with prices right now. So you really got to play the waiting game. When do I pick this up? When do I get the best deal? Can I hold off and, miss out? FOMO is all a part of that. So I do think it's just a time of like unknown with prices and purchasing and what the community is kind of doing. It's all over the place right now with collecting. So we'll see how that ends up being in the long run. But I will say probably in the next few months, of course, day one prices will go up. But I do think there might be some glimmer of hope where certain new titles, they don't really sell well. They're not being pre-ordered really well. Those will drop, fairly quickly, sooner rather than later, you could say. So I still think it's a great time to be a collector, especially if you're going thrifting or secondhand markets. There's always great kind of like combo deals popping up. See on eBay, they have a lot of good tills. Now, will you get all your stuff, packaged properly and not damaged? I've had some issues with my recent orders of eBay. So, yeah. And then, of course, Amazon. I mean, you can get damaged stuff from them too, but they have pretty good customer service. So, yeah, it's just wild right now. It's just so wild with how purchases are going. But I do think people are holding back a little bit on their wallets. They're being much more selective as certain prices go up and as certain, shelf spacing decreases, right? We only have a certain limit on space for each collector, of course, right? We're limited in what we can have in our collection. So I think people are starting to kind of pick and choose a little bit more. Okay, I really want that. That's going to be one I can watch multiple times, or maybe I don't really need that one in the collection. So I think there's more of that now today instead of just, oh, I need to buy everything day one. Give me all the new releases. Let's triple dip. Let's quadruple dip. I think people are like, no more. No more on the double dipping, right? Just in general. Once again, some people may always double dip, right? But there we go. Whatever you like to do as a collector is perfectly fine. It's just about watching and talking the movies you love. That's why we collect them. So we have them to watch and we're ready to go with those titles. So yeah, once again, I still think it's a great time to be a collector, even though a lot of uncertainty, a lot of volatility with prices and whatnot, but we'll just see how it plays out. But in the meantime, if you love collecting physical media, once again, you want to help save physical media in this current year, go ahead and mega blockbuster that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell. Leave in the comments below what have you been picking up recently. What do you think of the number breakdown today? What do you think of the state of physical media? Where do we go to next? And we'll just have a great time there talking them movies with our friendly film fan community there. And of course, you love this physical media topic, go ahead and mega marathon some more videos right now. And thank you so much, my mega membership supporters. If you love talking and collecting movies, consider joining the Mega League of Film Fans through memberships to support content creation while gaining access to perks like shoutouts, exclusive videos, and future topic choices.